Peter Jackson still tells the story with a mix of disbelief and gratitude, the kind of tale that perfectly captures how chaos, chance, and commitment fused to create The Lord of the Rings. More than 2 decades after Middle-earth first thundered onto screens, the filmmaker is recalling a little-known surfing accident involving Viggo Mortensen that quietly reshaped one of the trilogy's most iconic battles. Speaking exclusively about the moment, Jackson describes it as one of those on-set curveballs that could have derailed everything, and instead ended up strengthening the emotional power of the film. A warrior who wouldn't sit still. By the time The Two Towers was deep into production, Mortensen had already earned a reputation as the most relentlessly committed member of the cast. He slept in costume, carried his sword everywhere, and treated Aragorn less like a role and more like a life assignment. Offset, that same intensity followed him into his downtime. New Zealand's rugged coastline offered irresistible temptation, and Mortensen, an experienced surfer, took advantage whenever he could. It was during one of those breaks that things went sideways. Viggo came back battered, Jackson recalls. Not dramatically injured, but clearly shaken up. He'd been tossed hard by the waves. The accident wasn't headline-grabbing, and at first glance it didn't seem serious enough to change production. But Lord of the Rings wasn't a normal shoot. Every day was choreographed down to the second, especially when it came to Helm's Deep, the sprawling, rain-soaked battle that would eventually define The Two Towers. A battle on the brink. Helm's Deep was already testing the limits of cast and crew. Shot almost entirely at night, the sequence took months to complete. Hundreds of extras cycled through armor fittings, stunt performers endured endless takes in mud and artificial rain, and the principal cast pushed themselves to exhaustion. Mortensen was meant to be at the center of it all, charging, leaping, fighting for hours at a time. After the surfing accident, however, Jackson and his team realized they had a problem. He wasn't injured enough to stop working, Jackson explains, but he wasn't at 100% either. And in a battle like Helm's Deep, that matters. Rather than pull Aragorn back or rely heavily on stunt doubles, Jackson made a different decision, one that would subtly transform the scene. Letting reality shape the story. Instead of hiding Mortensen's fatigue, Jackson leaned into it. He looked worn down in a way that felt incredibly real, Jackson says. There was something in his eyes, this sense that Aragorn had been fighting too long, carrying too much. The director adjusted blocking and pacing, allowing Aragorn moments of stillness amid the chaos. Shots lingered a beat longer. Close-ups replaced some wide, acrobatic choreography. Aragorn's movements became heavier, more deliberate. The result was a battle that didn't just feel epic, it felt human. Helm's Deep isn't remembered simply for its scale or spectacle. It's remembered because you believe the cost of every swing of the sword. Aragorn doesn't look invincible. He looks worn, desperate, determined to stand even when standing hurts. That wasn't something we planned, Jackson admits. It came from reality intruding on fantasy. Viggo's relentless push. Despite the accident, Mortensen never asked to step back. If anything, Jackson says, the actor pushed harder. There was no sense of complaint, Jackson recalls. He just wanted to know what he could still do. That attitude fed directly into Aragorn's arc. In The Two Towers, Aragorn isn't yet the crowned king. He's a leader in waiting, burdened by doubt, responsibility, and fear of failure. Mortensen's physical weariness mirrored the character's emotional state with uncanny precision. In hindsight, Jackson sees the surfing accident as one of those rare moments where actor and character aligned almost too perfectly. You couldn't fake that level of exhaustion, he says. And we didn't want to. An accidental evolution of Helm's Deep. What emerged was a battle that broke from traditional fantasy conventions. Rather than portraying war as glorious or clean, Helm's Deep feels punishing and relentless. The rain never stops. The night never seems to end. Victory feels uncertain until the very last moment. Jackson credits Mortensen's accident with nudging the sequence in that direction. If Viggo had been at full physical strength, we might have pushed the choreography further, made Aragorn more overtly heroic, he says. Instead, he became something better, more relatable. It's a reminder of how fragile filmmaking can be. One misstep, one wave breaking at the wrong angle, could have changed everything. Instead of weakening the film, it deepened it. A myth built on imperfection. Looking back now, Jackson sees the story as emblematic of the entire trilogy. So much of Lord of the Rings came from adapting to circumstances, he says. Weather, injuries, exhaustion, we were constantly adjusting. Those adjustments helped give Middle-earth its lived-in authenticity. Swords feel heavy because they were heavy. Armor looks uncomfortable because it was. And Aragorn's struggle feels real because, in many ways, it was. The surfing accident didn't just alter a battle. It reinforced the trilogy's core truth. Heroes aren't defined by perfection, but by perseverance. The legacy of an unplanned moment. Today, Helm's Deep is routinely ranked among the greatest battle sequences in film history. Fans dissect every shot, every charge, every moment of quiet defiance. Few realize that part of its power came from an off-screen accident and a director willing to let reality guide the story. It's funny how those things work, Jackson reflects. You plan for years, and then something unexpected happens, and that's what people end up remembering. As for Mortensen, the actor's legend only grew. The surfing accident joined a long list of stories, broken toes, real swords, relentless dedication, that cemented his status as one of cinema's most committed performers. And somewhere in the crashing waves of New Zealand's coast, a single misjudged moment helped shape a battle that would echo through film history, proof that sometimes the greatest magic happens when things don't go according to plan.